a series of opinions from the Supreme Court in 1901 that addressed the application of the Constitution to territories where the United States exercised sovereignty. Specifically, you describe these cases as, quote, a doctrine of pure judicial invention with absolutely no basis in the Constitution and one that is contrary to all judicial precedent and territorial practice. Later, in 2011, you concluded a Spanish-language academic article on the insular cases by saying, quote, it is now the hour, and indeed it has already grown late, for the Supreme Court to re-examine and remedy this offensive and obsolete judicial dilemma, which we have had to tolerate for more than 100 years by over 5 million American citizens who live in Puerto Rico and other territories of the United States. I take it then, based on your writings, that you believe the insular cases were wrongly decided.
Senator, yes, when I wrote in those academic books about the insular cases, I've discussed it from an academic perspective, and I've made reference to the fact, particularly, that the insular cases were decided by the same Plessy versus Ferguson Supreme Court, and that they considered racial, ethnic, discriminatory matters, and the same Supreme Court took that into account. Those are matters that nowadays I don't believe any member of any branch of Congress, of the government, would take those matters into consideration. So that is my criticism of the insular cases. In cases that I've had before me, I apply the doctrine as it still stands. That is the law of the United States, whether I like it or not.
So you've said you believe the insular cases were wrongly decided. Do you believe Brown versus Board of Education was rightly decided?
Senator, I believe it was rightfully decided, yes.
Okay, what about District of Columbia versus Heller?
Senator, that is a case that is the law of the land. I have to apply Heller, I have to apply McDonald, and it is the Supreme Court doctrine, which I will apply.
Well, I understand that, but that was not the question I asked you. You just told us you believe the insular cases were wrongly decided. You just told us that you
not the insular cases. Oh, yes, excuse me, yes, sorry.
That you believe the insular cases are wrongly decided. You just told us that you believe Brown versus Board of Education was rightly decided. So I'm asking you what your views are on Heller versus District of Columbia. Was it rightly decided or wrongly decided?
Well, Senator, as I mentioned, that is the law of the land, and I am aware that there are other challenges that will be upcoming, and there's one in California. That similar challenge could be before my court or the Court of Appeals. So that is something that, as a sitting judge, and that is a controversy that is live and ongoing, so I should not decide that. But I will apply Heller and McDonald. I can guarantee you that. Well,
you were a sitting judge when you wrote about the insular cases, correct?
Senator, yes, I have criticized historically the underpinnings of the insular cases, but...
Well, not just the underpinnings. You said flat out they were wrongly decided and the Supreme Court should reverse them. That was not just an academic observation. That was calling a decision wrongly decided and saying it should be reversed.
Correct. A decision based on racist underpinnings. I agree with you.
And Brown versus Board of Education, certainly questions about race and litigation about what equal protection under the laws means. That litigation continues in courts across the country today. Is that right?
Not the Brown holding.
But the principles on which Brown was decided, those are actively litigated
There are
issues.
particular equal protection cases filed in federal courts every day. That's the purpose of federal courts.
So how about the Citizens United case? Was that wrongly decided?
Senator, that is the binding precedent, and that is something that I could have a similar case in the future. But again, that is the law of the land. I have to apply it.
So it seems on cases where I'm not clear what your standard is for when you will answer what questions were wrongly decided, what cases were wrongly decided, and what cases were not.
Well, Senator, I can tell you, historically speaking, Brown, I can say, was correctly decided. The insular cases, historically speaking, the rationale behind those cases was based on racist underpinnings. I have to say that rationale was incorrectly decided. As a matter of history.
Senator Hirono just offered a defense of you, saying that you refuse to commit to originalism because originalism would prevent outcomes that she supports. It would prevent outcomes in cases like Obergefell and Roe versus Wade, and because she supports those outcomes, she doesn't want judges who will follow the original understanding of the Constitution. Is that how you would articulate? Well, is it right that you don't intend to follow the original understanding of the Constitution?
The senator's time has expired. Judge, you may answer the question.
Senator, as I mentioned to an earlier question, I will apply originalism, and that is one of the factors or the tests that the Supreme Court has laid out for judges to follow, and I cannot ignore it. I have to follow originalism in the cases where it is appropriate.
But do you agree with Senator Hirono's
Senator's time
defense
has expired.
that those are the reasons?
The senator's time has expired. Senator Padilla is recognized for 5
You know,
minutes.
this is a committee where we've had a little bit of comedy, and I recognize
Chair.
that Senator Ossoff
my
is
time.
new, but we
Chairman.
generally don't have the chairman trying to jump in
Point
on
of
30
personal
seconds
privilege,
in.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
And I
sir.
My
recognize
time.
the chairman
The floor
may
is
not
mine.
want these
Senator
questions
Cruz, the
answered.
floor is mine.
Point of personal
Thank you.
privilege, Mr. Chairman.
There'll be order in the Judiciary Committee. Senator Cruz, your comment is noted, and Senator Padilla.
Chairman,
Thank you,
point of
Mr. Chair.
personal
Thank you,
privilege.
Mr.
Chairman
Senator
Ossoff
Padilla,
desperately
out of
does not want
respect
these
to-
questions answered.
Point of personal privilege.
Senator Hirono.
I would